1 in 5 men in Canada experience significant mental health challenges. That's 20%.
Okay, you're going to
leave lack of access often prevent them from seeking support. Well, Toronto-based playwright and speaker Troy Crossfield is helping shift the narrative around men's mental health with his not-for-profit Iron Sharpens Iron. Troy's live this morning here to talk about creating spaces where men feel rooted in emotional safety. Troy, I love this conversation. I really do think it's just so important. I know clearly you do as well here. But that idea of creating safe spaces for men when men can be so afraid to really admit how they're actually feeling inside. How do you go about that? How do you create those spaces?
So it's actually something that came out of something that I needed. You know, when I was younger, not having any brothers, growing up with a home with 5 sisters and stuff, not having my father in my life, you know, the challenges of who am I shaping myself to be as a man? You know, where do I get that information from? Yeah. So years later, I'm like, yo, I need to create a space where men can come together, be vulnerable with each other and transparent. Because, you know, a lot of times when men get together, we're either talking about the game or women and stuff, but we're not talking about like the stuff that's really going on inside of us, you know, depression, anxiety. So years ago, a friend of mine, Joel Whitten, and I, we just met in the basement. And we're like, you know what? We're going to start this thing where we have these conversations with men, you know, and like, you know, God's just like, open up a space, and then we're gonna bring the people in, you know. So it started off with a place with celebrities and stuff, guys coming in, and then like guys just start sharing. It became this place of group therapy for each other and a safe space. So yeah, that's how it started.
I'm curious, you know, because I can think about conversations with my friends, and it would quickly devolve into like sort of just busting each other up, you know, and sort of poking fun at each other, and rather than talking reality. So I'm curious how you created the environment and the conversation to get men to like truly really open up, because that is something most men don't like, to be that vulnerable, and especially in front of other men.
Right. So what we do every first Friday of the month, and we meet on this space on Danforth, an amazing space, a dance studio. So we bring the men in, and how it starts off is I usually start off with transparency, what my life is, what I'm currently going through, you know what I mean, with my family and stuff like that, and the challenges that I'm facing. And then all the men just kind of exhale like, wow, you're going through this. I want to share what I'm going through. So we talk about the loss of life, but also the wins as well too. So I just noticed that, like, you know, if you and I are having a conversation and I could be vulnerable with you, it turns around and be like, man, I want to be vulnerable too. Yeah. You know, the men, they're crying, they're broken sometimes, and then sometimes just a place of encouragement, and like, it takes a lot of courage for a man to be vulnerable.
Yeah, it really does. And you know, my son, we were waiting for a drink at a coffee shop the other day, and he's 11, and he said, Dad, did you know that 75% of men, or that like they're the men commit suicide more than women, like 75%. Right. And I sort of thought, this is my 11-year-old son telling me this. I knew the stat, but I didn't know that he knew it, but it struck him. And I think that whole men's mental health angle, people kind of think we're doing okay because we're strong or we're tough, and we don't show it here, but there was a real deep down situation happening, isn't there? And you clearly see that firsthand.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was going to talk about that statistic this morning as well, because men don't have an outlet, they don't have a space. You know, especially I'm from a Caribbean background, so when you hear about therapists or going to therapy, it's like frowned upon. Yeah. You know, you're not crazy. Why are you going to therapy? But like, there's just so much healing in that. There's so much healing in journaling. There's so much healing in doing the internal work. We go to the gym, we work out every day. Yeah. Same thing for our minds and our hearts. We need to work those out as well too. So yeah, it's just this whole turning around from men's mental health needs to be looked at more so we can be better fathers, better husbands, better friends, better brothers, better partners, you know?
Yeah, if you've got a sort of strong, resilient, someone who feels like there's some worth there, that makes a better man, which I think helps kind of everyone, doesn't it? Like a rising tide lifts all ship. If men are feeling good, I think other people are going to feel good too. Is that a fair statement, do you think?
Yeah, and it's gonna, for some of us, it's gonna come from a deep place. You know, a lot of trauma that we're dealing with, a lot of baggage that we're carrying. Yeah. But as soon as, if you can help me lift one of my bags, I can help you lift yours. It makes the world lighter. Absolutely. You know, so yeah, that's our goal.
I love that, you know, iron sharpens iron. It's a biblical reference, but it also, I love the image it conjures up here. Troy, where can people find out some more information about this if they wanted to come and, you know, take part in every first Friday you were talking about?
So my page is at Troy Crossfield. Our Iron Sharpens Iron page is at Iron Sharpens Iron Toronto. We also have a safe space for women as well too, and men that meet every first Friday of the month in Toronto. And then we're going to be testing it out in other cities as well too.
Okay, Troy, I think this is an amazing initiative, men's mental health. We can't talk enough about it. Thanks for talking about it today. Appreciate this morning.